I've been competing since 1974. I've been quite involved with sports through my life. I think my younger days, especially going to Australia and Helsinki, Finland, competing and representing Canada at a younger age, and through my lifting career until I won the Worlds, and my last one was 2008. 2007 I won the World, but always being on top. Through 30 years, I've been a Canadian champ for 31 years. And I guess I've been blessed to be healthy all these years, avoid a lot of injuries through lifting. Mentally, you gotta be prepared because lifting is probably 40–50% strength, and in your mind, you gotta go beyond those numbers that nobody's ever succeeded before. You're just pushing yourself constantly, trying to get that extra 5 pounds or that extra rep. Especially being competitive on the platform, there's always somebody trying to outdo you, and you got to stay on top of your competitors. And been doing that for almost 40 years. I own 389 Canadian records through 11 different weight classes, starting from 1974 till this year, and I broke some more. I've accomplished a lot of things in the community of Belle River, helping out, student lifters, proceeding with different meets through the year. I host 2 to 3 competitions a year, working with the special athletes. People cannot believe that we train and we produce so many Ontario and Canadian champs in this little area here in Essex County. I'm sure we've got over 25 lifters that I've taught through powerlifting have broken Canadian records. When I won the Worlds in Austria, it was Czech Republic, and standing on the podium and watching them raise the Canadian flag and playing the national anthem was a highlight. It brought tears to my eyes. It was something I've been wanting for many, many years. It finally happened to me. I still like competing, and I still like beating people, I think. I'm still not done. There's a few goals left in life that I would like to accomplish. It was such a good feeling when I got inducted to the Hall of Fame. My portfolio was almost complete, and it was a relief mentally because it was just missing. I've broken a lot of records, but there's still something missing when you don't have a part of your piece of the puzzle missing.
Marentette. Please welcome Jeremy Renaud of the Hall of Fame Board and inductee sponsor David Azevedo from Colio Estate Wineries to the stage as well. Now, here's the way the story goes for the best dressed man north of the Grand Maris Ditch. Can I get an amen for that? I thought I was looking good. I saw him. I was so damn disappointed. Jerry was looking for a way to rehab a shoulder injury suffered early in what would prove to be a very successful wrestling career at Belle River High School. He was 14 years old and figured some of the moves demonstrated by the competitors might assist in a quick return to the wrestling mat. And through a friend, he met Roger Chauvin of Emeryville, who introduced him to the sport of powerlifting. After 2 months of training, 2 months, he competed in his first meet in June of 1974, and suffice it to say, his sporting endeavors took a fateful turn from that point on. Today, this Belle River native, and the best dressed guy north of the Grand Maris Ditch, is the most decorated athlete in the history of Canadian powerlifting. He is the owner of a staggering 389 meet, provincial, and national records, and is still competing at the age of 57. To say Jerry took to powerlifting immediately is an understatement. Within 3 months of his competitive debut, he had set his first Canadian record, and a year later claimed both an Ontario and Canadian championship, while representing Canada at the World Championship with a 6th place finish in the 132-pound weight class. Relishing this independent one-on-one nature of the sport, Jerry has pursued excellence around the world, competing in Australia, Finland, India, South Africa, and the Czech Republic. He broke his first unofficial world record in 1978, when, at a soaking wet weight of 132 pounds, 132 pounds, soaking, wringing wet, and not looking this good, he squatted 505 pounds. He once lifted more than once, he has lifted 4 times his body weight. He was telling me earlier tonight, when he weighed 130 pounds, 529 pounds. He's a 31-time Canadian champion. He's qualified for the Pan Am and Commonwealth Games and has attended 16 World Championships, twice winning world titles in his weight class. He's been very much like that proverbial fine wine, seemingly getting better with age. In 2007, more than 30 years after he first hoisted a barbell and plates, he was named Athlete of the Year by the Canadian Powerlifting Association. Award he won again in 2009, which was the year he was inducted in the Canadian Powerlifting Hall of Fame. He's a winner of the Bill Jamieson Award, the highest honor a Canadian powerlifter can receive. So many records and highlights to choose from. Jerry tells us he is particularly fond of his first national title, as well as being the first Canadian to lift 4 times his body weight. And his attack on the record book is far from concluded. He'll turn 60 in 3 years, which is his invitation to go after a bunch of age group records in that age division. Strength, dedication, and a dogged determination has turned this man into a living legend in powerlifting in this country and, of course, in this community. So it's perfectly fitting that he becomes the first powerlifter to be inducted in this Hall of Fame. Jerry Marentette, inducted in the New York City Hall of Fame, October 24th, 2006. So if you're ever driving through Emeryville,